Okay, so we're working with matrices, and we have to use this to solve it. So what we do is we use the coefficients. So see how the first row, it's 2 is the coefficient, and then there's a blank space, so it's 0, 0x2. And then 3x3 equals 3, so 2033. So we put that here, 2033. And then that's how we get the rest of these two. So 4, -3, 7, 2. That's just that second equation right there. And then the 8, -9, 15, 10. That's our third row right there. So that's just how you set it up. Well, then what we got to do is we have to use matrix operations to solve this system of equations. So we have to get it in row echelon form, which is basically like, it's basically to get your matrix like 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, and then like none of this really matters. So that's basically like our goal here. So, okay, so what we're going to do is, first things first, we have to make all of these guys into zeros, right? Okay, so first we have to change this whole row, because you can't just work like one number at a time, so you have to do the whole row. So we're going to take row 2, and we have to make this 4, 0 first. So in order to do that, we have to use the other rows. So we're going to take row 2 and subtract 2 times row 1. Because if we do that, then it'll make these values. This will become -2 times 2, so this will be -4. This will be -2 times 0, which is just 0. And then both of these 3's are going to be -2 times 3, -6, -2 times 3 again, -6. So now that's just the math part. This is actually just going to stay the same when we copy it over. And since we're not touching this last row just yet, we're going to do the same thing there. We're just going to copy it over. 15, 10. Now, what we are doing, though, is taking this and subtracting, or I guess adding, because I already distributed the negative. We're going to add this to get our new row 2. So 4 minus 4, 0, which is good. That's what we wanted. That was -3 plus 0 is just 0. 7 minus 6, 1. 2 minus 6, -4. Okay, good. Now we move on to the one below it. So now we got to make that 8 a 0. And we can honestly kind of do it in the same process. So we are going to take row 3 this time, because that's the third row here. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to subtract 4 row 1 now, because we have to make this a -8 to cancel with that. So our new matrix, we're just going to copy over what we're not changing. So we are not changing row 1, and we are not changing row 2. So -3, 1, -4. So I just kind of like to do my math above here so I don't forget. So -4 times everything. So that's -8. -4 times 0 is 0. And then -4 times 3 is -12. And we got 2 of those, so it's going to be that. Now we add. So 8 minus 8, 0. Perfect. -9 plus 0, -9. 15 minus 12 is 3. And 10 minus 12 is -2. So now you can already see, like, now we're getting our zeros, and we have just one more to eliminate right here, which is that 9. Well, we have to take one of the above rows and multiply it by something, just like we have over here. We multiplied it by -4, we multiplied this one by -2. So we have to take one of these rows and multiply it by something to cancel that out. So the best choice is to take this one, because if we do this one, then we're going to have to multiply that 2 by something, and then if we add it, that'll mess up this 0, and we don't want to do that. So let's just take this one that already has a 0. So we are going to change row 3, and let's do -3 times row 2, because if we do that, -3 times -3 is +9. And then that +9 and this -9 will cancel out. So that's what we're going to do. So like always, let's carry over what we're not changing. So 2, 0, 3, 3. We're not changing row 2, so 0, -3, 1, -4. But we are going to change this third row. So let's just do some math right here. Row 2 is going to be 0 times negative 3 is just 0. Negative 3 times negative 3 is 9. 1 times negative 3, negative 3. Negative 4 times negative 3 is positive 12. Now we add that to that last row. So 0 plus 0, 0. Negative 9 plus 9, 0, just like we wanted. 3 minus 3, that's going to be 0. And negative 2 plus 12, negative 2 plus 12 is going to be positive 10. Now, what we see is we actually lost what's called a pivot right there. So remember over here how I kind of explained that to get in row echelon form, we need like pivots here, here, here. Like we need the 1, 1, 1, and then 0, 0, 0. Well, there's nothing that we can do to get this number back because we lost it. It turned into a 0, which is fine. But what that means, we have like specific, we look at our notes, and we made a little flow chart in class. And it basically says, oh, where'd it go? Yeah, right here. Okay, so we do the row echelon form, and no pivot lost. That means like if we have like the 1, 1, 1 like I had over there, then we would have a solution. But we did lose a pivot because if you remember, we gained that extra 0. Well, if there's no rows of zeros, then there's no solution. If there are rows of zeros, there's infinite many solutions. Well, in order to have the row of zeros, that would mean we have 0, 0, 0, 0. We don't have that. So that means we have no solution. Okay, now let's look over here. And it says, if there's no solution, we just enter no solution. So let me do that. And see if it's right. Voila!